Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. This is MazezRealm once again, and this is my 5th episode of my Conquering Face-Off series. Now, for those of you who watch this series regularly, you probably have noticed that I have not released an episode for this series in about 2 to 3 weeks. Now, the reason for that is because I recently kicked off a series called DLC Delving, in which I actually cover the multiplayer maps that have been made available through Call of Duty Elite content drops. So, for those of you who play regular multiplayer a lot, you probably have noticed that more and more people play multiplayer maps more than face-off maps. And because of that reason, I decided to release a new series covering those maps, and I kicked that off with a throwback map terminal. So if you guys have not watched that series yet, I would strongly recommend that you watch that series, because the Conquering Face-Off series is starting to wrap up. There are only 2 episodes left, and this is the second to last episode that will be airing for this series. So I hope you guys have been enjoying the previous episodes of the series, and hope that you continue to watch it all the way till the end. Now, that being said, I wanted to cover the main pointers and tips and tricks to this new map, U-Turn. Now, U-Turn is a really small map compared to most of the other face-off maps that have been released to date. Now, I would say that this is the second smallest to all of the maps that have been released. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure that this is the second smallest, right after Getaway, because Getaway seems to be a slight bit smaller than U-Turn. However, don't let the size of the map fool you. The actual gameplay can sometimes be very slow paced in comparison to other maps. And the reason for that is because the sightlines on this map are very, very visual. You can see them very easily. And they're very long sightlines, in that when you're looking down those sightlines, there is very little cover, but when you're transitioning between those sightlines, you have got a lot of cover. Now, I know that might seem confusing, but you can see here that I just transitioned from the second sightline, which is the center of the map, into the third, and all there was just a few cars in the way to add for cover, and then there was another really long sightline. So because of that, I would strongly recommend that you guys stay away from submachine guns and shotguns on this map, simply because most of the time you will be running into people at longer ranges. And when you do run to them in close quarters combat, you're going to want an assault rifle or a sniper rifle, if you're good at quick scoping or spamming the trigger, that deals a lot of damage very quickly. So I would strongly recommend that you equip an assault rifle like the AK-47 or the ACR or the G36C. Those are really good assault rifles that work well on this map. Also, the CM901 is pretty good. However, it's very difficult to use the CM901 because of its erratic recoil at longer ranges. So just keep that in mind. If you're an expert with the CM901 and you're good with the optics on the CM901, then by all means throw it on your loadout and give it a shot on U-Turn. But that being said, the perks that really shine on this map, more than any other perks I should say, are Sitrep and Recon. Recon is extremely useful on this map, more so than any other map on the face-off playlist, because there is nothing but open terrain to throw flashbangs and grenades in. And as you all know, flashbangs and stun grenades have a very big radius on U-Turn, especially than any other map, because all you have is a few cars for cover. So if you have Recon equipped and you throw, say, some stun grenades or flashbangs, you will light up most of your opponents just by tossing that out. So it's almost like having a constant UAV while you're alive. So if you equip that perk, you will find yourself having really, really good chances of beating the opposite teammates or enemy, in case if you're playing 1v1. So Recon goes without saying that it is a very beneficial perk in this map. Now, Sitrep is equally as beneficial because it helps you obviously hear the enemy footsteps. And a lot of this map's terrain is based on asphalt and very hard ground like sand and dirt and very little shrubbery. So footsteps can be heard really easily on this map as well, and that is something to keep in mind. Now, for those of you who are trying to counteract the Recon perk on this map, say you have an enemy team or an enemy that is continually spamming you with flashbangs and concussion grenades, I would definitely recommend putting on another class on your loadout to have Recon, Blast Shield, and Dead Silence. Now, that might sound like a really, really strange loadout. However, hear me out on this one. If you use that loadout, you can go on the offensive by using the Recon perk. You can go on the defensive by using Blast Shield, and for those of you who do not really know, Dead Silence Pro gives you a shorter time span that you show up when you are flashed and someone is using Recon. So it reduces the effects of Recon. So that's why Blast Shield, Dead Silence, and Recon go hand in hand for a very good offensive and defensive mixed loadout. So that is a really good loadout to use on U-turn. And of course, it goes without saying that the Specialist Strike package is one that I would recommend, because then you won't really have to worry about running out of ammo because you can have Scavenger on there. You won't have to worry about being run up on a reload because you can have Sleight of Hand, and that is the exact reason why I would strongly recommend the Specialist Strike package. Another strike package that works well is the Assault because of the wide open-ended area of combat on the map. So I hope that this helps you guys do well on U-turn, and stay tuned for the last episode on this series, Vortex. Until next time, I'm out.